Dad, the cost of a new car continues to go up, up, up. However, the quality of a new car in 2022 going down, down, down. Thought we'd take some time to review some of the most recent recalls. And we're calling out Hyundai, Kia, Ford, GM, Toyota. Is anyone safe?
Probably not. And here's the saddest part about what we're going to discuss. I remember when your mother used to always convince us that you get what you pay for. And you know what? In today's world, you do not. You pay more than you ever have. And the quality of whatever it is that you're buying automotive wise is lower than it's ever been. We live in an upside down world, and these recalls prove it.
Okay, and let's be fair. Some of these recalls date all the way back to vehicles produced in 2012, 2013. So for example, we'll kick things off with vehicles that unfortunately catch on fire. Hyundai and Kia have over 6 million vehicles that are under recall for that. The reason that we're bringing this back up more recently is because they're brand new Palisades and Tellurides, Dad. 280,000 of them have been recalled because they also can catch on fire. Totally different reason for catching on fire than the prior 6 million that were catching on fire. This also comes at the same time that Ford has a recall for 200,000 vehicles from 2015 to 2017. They too have the chance to catch on fire and are under recall. So we've got a lot of fire recalls going on right now for older new vehicles and or older vehicles, I should say, and new ones as well.
Yes, it's the old saying of it's a hot time in the old town tonight has never rung more true than it is with several million of these vehicles that have been subject to recall from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration.
Not to pile on Hyundai and Kia, but there's another NHTSA investigation going on. 275,000 Hyundai and Kia vehicles are being investigated for exploding seatbelt pretensioners. So it's not only the vehicles potentially catching on fire for whatever the mechanical reason may be, but seatbelts, Dad. Seatbelts exploding.
Yeah, well, the pretensioner is the device that grabs the seatbelt to hold you into place as it senses there's going to be an accident. And there's a little charge involved in that, and sometimes they explode prematurely. So if the fire doesn't get you, perhaps the seatbelt will.
NHTSA's got another open investigation right now, Dad, into 1.7 million Ford and Lincoln vehicles for front brake defects. And Dad, this comes on the heels of Ford's own executives saying as recently as their Q2 earnings, hey, we're doing great. We're kicking butt. The only issue we have is warranty. Warranty work is through the roof and the quality of our vehicles is not where we want it to be. 1.7 million vehicles being investigated for the front brakes not working.
Well, hopefully they've reinforced those front bumpers and perhaps they can start using those bumpers as stoppers.
Yeah, potentially, Dad. Toyota's also struggling when it comes to their vehicles stopping. There's 84,000 Tundras and Lexus NX vehicles. This time it's for the electronic parking brake, so a little bit better. And this is the fortunate moment, Dad. We are seeing more and more vehicles getting fixed via software updates. So a bright spot as we're transitioning from, mechanical fixes to electronic fixes. This is, I guess, good news.
I suppose, but one would assume that if there are electronic software issues that can fix a problem, well, that perhaps it could also be hacked and create a slightly different problem.
Okay, other issues at Toyota, Dad, and also Subaru. They've got a buyback currently going on for their electric vehicles, the BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. And why would that be, Dad?
Well, the old saying, you should keep a car and drive it till the wheels fall off. Well, who knew with these vehicles that could be in the first couple hundred miles?
Yeah, not a good look. Also, we talked about seatbelts. I can't overlook the fact that GM currently has about 500,000 vehicles that have potentially defective seatbelt assemblies. Okay, so this is the seatbelt actually just coming apart, unfortunately, and this is with Chevy, GMC, Cadillac.
You just have to feel good knowing that they've designed a vehicle that is really meant to protect you. Unfortunately, the quality of the materials they used to protect you, well, just doesn't matches up to what they had hoped.
All right, we've run through enough recalls, Pops. Like, what is your take on this? Is this simply a function of automakers trying to make more money by maybe less quality of parts and things like that? Is this a result of the supply chain challenges that we've had recently? I mean, maybe that's it for like the BZ4X because that's a brand new car. The Telluride's the Palisades. Maybe that's it. What's your stance on this? And let's all just be very clear. Average transaction prices for new cars are the highest they've ever been. Last month, north of, what was it, $46,000, $47,000, $48,000, something crazy like that. So what's your take on this?
My take is that every manufacturer looks for ways to cut corners, looks for ways to be able to buy cheaper parts to put in their cars to increase their profit margins. Or when there's tight supply chain issues like there are today, they really need to cut corners because the costs of the materials are going up. So I think the theory is for most of these manufacturers, let's cut as many costs as we can. Let's cut as many corners as we can. And let's correct it if and when these problems rear their ugly heads. And hopefully, whatever the problems are, they won't rise to the level of a full recall. It'll just be some additional warranty work that we'll have to pay for, as opposed to the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration saying, no, you've got some real problems here. So it's just the manufacturers trying to increase profit margins, keeping their stockholders happy, prove that they're more profitable than perhaps they really are. It's quality be damned when you're just chasing profits.
Pops, are you avoiding Hyundai, Kia, Ford? I'm trying to think who are the other most egregious on the quality side right now, but are you avoiding those three if you're a new car buyer?
Well, with Ford, they have had so many issues with their recent model launches that, I would. I certainly wouldn't buy any manufacturer's first year model of a fresh brand new vehicle. Okay. And I might not buy the second year model. I might want to wait a couple of years to see what quality issues actually develop, because the good folks at Ford have said, hey, quality is an issue, and we're going to depend on people on social media, monitoring social media to find out what people are saying about the quality of our vehicles. Well, that seems like an ass backwards way of handling quality control. You shouldn't be leaving it up to social media. You should be doing real, precise, professional quality control at the manufacturing process. And I am sure that there's any number of engineers that work in these for these manufacturers that are saying, I don't think this part's going to last the way we expect it to, but nobody seems to care because, well, it would be too expensive to do it the right way.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time, Dad. I wonder if we'll continue to see even more NHTSA recalls and investigations as we see more vehicles that were produced during these supply chain hampered times. Like over the next 2 to 3 years is, I guess, what I'm alluding to. I'd be very curious to see. Also, we haven't even talked about it in this video. Dirt mountain vehicles, new vehicles that have just been sitting waiting for parts. You've got to imagine that also introduces some wear and tear on vehicles. You've talked about lot rot before on this channel. So it'll be interesting to see about those vehicles if there are underlying issues that the OEMs end up having to pay for as well, since the vehicles are fortunately for the consumer under warranty. Still doesn't mean you want to take it to the shop all the time, but it's an interesting thought.
And I would think because of COVID and because it's been difficult for them to keep their employees working all the time due to illness and other issues, that the quality that we're going to see in the next 3 or 4 years based on what was built in the past 18 to 24 months, the quality of those vehicles is probably going to be even lower than what we had seen prior to the pandemic. And what we saw prior to the pandemic based on these recalls has not been good. So I don't think it bodes well for consumers moving forward, honestly.